The Goncalves family has finally put out a statement regarding everything that has been going on in the Idaho 4 case. Let's see what they've got to say together. Hey guys, this is Jules with True Crime Reactions. Disclaimer. Everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only, and just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. I was running out the door because it is my birthday today, and I want my Dr. Pepper wings and my style hot wings, and so I have to go run and get what I need. But then this popped up, notification on my phone, boop, hold up, stop, turn around, sit down. We need to discuss this, okay? The Goncalves family, like I just said, has just put out a statement regarding the alibi. Now, I asked in my big video about the stalking allegation becoming false and how they've known from the very beginning that those stalking allegations were not going to be a part of this situation even before Bryan was arrested. There was no evidence of a stalker, at least whenever it came to Kaylee, okay? Now, whenever it comes to what's now being claimed by the prosecution, the statement of Bryan Kohberger stalking one of the victims is a false statement. Now, people can take that and say, oh, it's because of the legal term of stalking. Oh, that means he was stalking all of them instead of just one of them or whatever. Whatever y'all want to believe is whatever y'all want to believe. On this channel, it goes by the way that my brain works, and my brain is telling me that that means that he was not stalking the victims, and that Ann Taylor is correct when she states there's no connection between her client and these victims. And we already have the fact that there was nothing related to the victims whatsoever found on anything that Bryan has possession of, be it his own body, his vehicle, his apartment, or his old work office over at WSU. Okay, there's lots of questions here. They have made no statements, at least from what I know of. There might be something in this. I have not read it yet. I saw, oh, they put a statement out, and I'm going to be literally reacting to whatever they have to say in real time as you are watching this, okay? They haven't put any statements out about those allegations being false, even though they have been out here, the Goncalveses have been out here hardcore pushing those accusations, okay? So I'm curious is if they acknowledge that in this. And I'm going to read this off my phone. It's quicker for me, but it's going to be on the screen for you guys to read along with, okay? Now, this was posted by Brian Inton on his X account, on his Twitter account. Statement from Goncalves family. We have been waiting on this information for months, and it has finally arrived. It is so hard not knowing anything about the case, and you find you have to cling to dates, motions, and hearings in order to figure out anything. That is really sad. Because they really don't know anything until we know everything, guys. Like, whenever we find out and us creators are out here putting a video together, the families are sitting there digesting the new information at the same time because they're getting it pretty much at the same time that we are. A big part of this has been waiting on alibi information. Now that it is here, we feel even more confident in the prosecution of the defendant. So he brings on an expert that has never once ever in his over 20 years of expertise in his very, very distinguished career, has never once ever testified for the defense. He has spent his career putting bad guys away. And he is all of a sudden, for the very first time in his entire career, putting his entire reputation on the line from what he has been shown by Ann Taylor and the discovery that she has received, that she has passed on to this man, okay? He, again, has never once ever helped someone not go to jail, okay? He helps put the bad guys away, and he is willing to help prove the fact that Bryan Kohberger was not east of Pullman that night. And that makes them more confident in his prosecution. Again, alternate reality. I feel like this is like the second time just this week that I have used that statement. Why are people acting like the things that are happening right now are not happening? It's just like the Nancy Grace panel where everyone was like not making a big deal whatsoever over the fact that Bill Thompson just told the whole world that Bryan Kohberger wasn't stalking the victims. And now the Goncalves family is acting like all of these details that just came out over the past 24 hours didn't happen. Man, I mean, I understand them wanting justice for their losses, okay, but being blind and being tunnel visioned is not the way this is supposed to work. The defense's claim is that the defendant was driving late at night, hiking, running, and stargazing. We are not sure why it has taken over a year for this to come out, as those don't seem to be complicated activities. Well, it's probably taken over a year because he was doing all of these things by himself. He's the only person besides the data that this very distinguished scientific genius, basically, in all of these types of geolocating types of things that are way beyond my realm, okay? This person can prove those things. And maybe because of the way that the cell phone coverage is out there and the way that this was not something that maybe he thought he was going to have to keep track of at all, maybe that's why it's taking so long, because they knew they were going to have to find the right person. And the person that they have willing to help them should be screaming volumes at the Goncalveses. I'm really just like, I mean, I'm not surprised at all that they're doubling down on the stupidity. Sorry, not sorry. It's stupidity at this point, guys. This is stupid. I can't believe how ridiculous. Okay. We believe that if this alibi had any weight, it would have been submitted months ago. It also is in direct conflict with the probable cause affidavit that states the defendant's phone was turned off between 2:47 a.m. and 4:48 a.m. Well, no one ever said that the probable cause affidavit was true. And if they weren't looking for the right information, it would look as if Bryan Kohberger's phone was off network. We don't exactly know how they got that information, I don't think. And I was having a conversation with somebody last night about that. Like, how do they exactly know that his phone was off the towers or off the network? What if it just switched around the networks because of the direction that he went and they were looking the wrong way, and that's why they didn't have the correct information? That's why I'm really questioning, like, did they figure all of this stuff out after they had him arrested and all these other search warrants got, like, served, that actually his data really doesn't add up correctly? Because in this paperwork right here that we just read with this alibi stuff, Ann Taylor is adamant that the car in the photo in evidence is not Bryan's car. Okay, she's giving us very specifics. So again, the Goncalveses need to chill and not believe that the probable cause affidavit is gospel, because it's not. It's literally not at all. So the defendant was driving around and there is cell phone information that he was in a different place. It would be either before or after the times of the murders, hence not really an alibi. No, that's not true, because we don't know what they have. And again, this person that's willing to prove all of this, Bryan, it would be the very first defendant he has ever staked his reputation on. That is like a big deal to me. I'm not going to just like act like that's not important, because that's an important factor here. We continue to look forward to justice in this case and can now put that part of the proceeding behind us. Thank you for all of your support to our family. I don't understand their logic here. I am not understanding their logic here. Are they in like denial? Could that be what this is? Could the Goncalveses be in denial? Because all of a sudden this huge narrative that they have been having pounded on them and that they've been pounding outwards onto Bryan is falling apart and not true, and they're in denial because that means that what they need to happen in order to get real justice for Kaylee and Maddie and for Ethan and Xana, that all of this has been for nothing this whole time. We're going to talk here soon about money, and I know that we're going to be talking about the University of Idaho and their bullshit with money here soon, but we're also going to be talking about the money going on in the trial and this whole thing itself, because like Kevin Fixler, the guy from Idaho Statesman, he wrote an article and he did a podcast with Surviving the Survivor or something like that. I'll have it all in the video where I talk about this stuff, but the very first like not even whole minute of this podcast, it's like, oh, $3.6 million. And I'm like, what? Can you imagine, guys? if there was $3.6 million spent on this investigation, this case, these motions, all these court hearings, all these court dates, and Bryan might actually be innocent, there might actually be for real proof. Looks like there really might be that he's really for real innocent, and it has cost almost $4 million, and that's not even all the information yet. And I also saw something that he reported about how they can't figure out how the plane situation got covered, about like flying out to Pennsylvania, arresting him, and then flying him back. Like, they can't figure out who foot the bill for all of that stuff. I'm going to be getting a bunch of notes together because there's people really uncovering a lot here, and their work doesn't need to go in vain. It needs to be talked about. It needs to be validated. It needs to be shared, because if this is really how messed up this is, can you imagine what's going on in cases where we aren't looking at things? How much of this happens under the radar because no one can pay attention to everything happening at one time? Almost $4 million. And now we have an alibi of this man who has literally never done anything but put bad guys away is now going to prove that this man is actually innocent. I cannot wait for that expert witness testimony. Are they going to make us wait till trial? See, here's a question for me. If this can be proven, then why can't the data just be proven and it be brought in front of a judge and like they just let him go if that's the case? Why does it have to wait at this point? See, that's when like there's things about this justice system that just doesn't make any sense to me. Why there can't be like certain stipulations and certain things changed? Because if he really truly is innocent and this man has the data and the proof, or can have the data and the proof, why can't you just go do it now? Why does it have to wait? That's just so crazy to me. I don't know. This is like the most interesting thing I think I've ever seen play out in a courtroom. I mean, besides Delphi. Honestly, Delphi's worse. Because Delphi, Richard Allen is being treated like crap. And there's a lot of people talking about that too. That's something else that we're going to discuss. There's lots of things that we need to discuss. But I've already been talking too long and I'm hungry. I need to go get my stuff to make my wings. So that's it. But I want to know what you guys feel about this weird response, because it honestly feels as if they are responding to a completely different set of details than we've been getting, right? Like it feels like everyone is ignoring the facts. Everyone is ignoring the truth now that it's changing the narrative. Everyone is just like skipping over it. Don't you think that they should want real, true justice for their daughter? Not just the justice that the public wants? There's just a lot wrong here. But I don't know what you guys think about this response, guys. Let me know down in the comments. That is it. If you like the way that I present this information and give my opinion, please do not forget to leave a like on your way out and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. See y'all.